Welcome back. My name is Matt Reiners. I'm the co-founder of Eversound, and with me today is Amy Birkel, the Chief Operating Officer at Heritage Communities, to discuss culture and empowering the leaders in your communities. Amy has started as a program director and has held roles such as Director of Sales and Marketing, Executive Director, Director of Resident Services, Vice President, and now Chief Operating Officer. If you don't know Amy, I feel sorry for you, because Amy is one of my favorite people that I've met while on my own senior living journey. Her energy and zest for life are contagious, and I find myself feeling inspired and giddy whenever our paths cross. So thanks so much for joining us today, Amy.
Well, thank you for that introduction. Always good to see you, Matt. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's just jump into it and let's talk about culture. I recently saw some of the videos of your CEO jumping into pools with his clothes on. So how would you describe the culture at Heritage Communities?
Well, crazy for one. No, I would say our culture is very authentic in service, sincere, lacks ego, and completely focused on building relationships, whether that is building the relationships with our residents and their families, our associates. It extends to community and vendor partners and people in the industry and the communities that we serve. If we don't have strong relationships, we won't be successful. And so as an organization or as leaders in an organization, it really is up to us to set the essence of what our company culture is. Culture will happen with or without you. And so we have an opportunity to control that message and to really see it through as our vision. And sometimes you know, as leaders, you have to take your watch off and jump in the pool with the team. So
I don't blame you. And I think it was in Arizona, the temperatures were north of 100 degrees. So
yes, it was around 115 that day. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And I know one of the things, and I just love whenever I see you on the speaker circuit, because I think you're always really quick to highlight some of the heroes like working in the front lines. I mean, you've been there, you've worked in the communities yourselves, and more now than ever, they're talking about healthcare worker burnout, being a real concern. And I'm curious, how have you managed this successfully and been able to keep staff motivated during such a challenging time?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Extremely true. It is a delicate, sensitive time for caregivers now more than ever. I think there's several things. One, I think even in the hardest day, right? Those crazy deadline ridden days where challenge after challenge just comes across your desk or in the community as you're serving others and feeling as though everything you're doing is underappreciated potentially by customers at times. I think that even in those hardest days, there is still an opportunity to bring fun in. It has to be a priority though. And I think a focus on that as leaders to understand that's part of my mission. That's how I help others live better, which is our mission at Heritage. And really putting an emphasis on laughter, right? Laughter just releases some of that tension and that friction at times that come. It can be a motivator, just something as simple as that. So I think the fun piece of bringing that to caregivers is, or communities as a whole, is important. Secondly, I would say sincerity and appreciation. Recognition and awards and programs are all important and good, but simple day-to-day appreciation in the small things, I think, goes a long way. I think leading with empathy and really putting yourself in other people's positions. Perception is reality. And I think at times leaders, we get so busy trying to fix problems. Sometimes we are actually causing problems, or that can be the perception. And so I think taking the time to explain to teams, to caregivers, the why and why we're doing something, I think can be motivating and again helps team health. But giving you real specifics, I think some of the things that we've done, right? I mean, goofy small thing. We took the uniforms that we were proud of and we kind of threw them out the window a little bit, and we created a campaign when COVID started called Heritage United, and so we have 100 colors that you can get these t-shirts that say Heritage United, and the staff can wear them to work and use them in their personal use. But the coolest thing about that is the funds go to our employee give back program. And so that goes directly back to associates that are going through difficult challenges that we award grants and things of that nature. So it was a motivator kind of in a fun way, but also it had mission and purpose behind it as well.
Oh, that's so powerful. It's so great too, because you're hitting like on some of the most important things, right? Because fun, laughter, all super important, but then also to have that mission tied into it. It's no wonder, why you and Heritage are definitely thought as thought leaders in this space, Amy. And I think too, one of the things you mentioned about explaining the why, I think is super important in a lot of different things, because I think, at the leadership perspective, everyone already kind of knows what that why is, but making sure that we're able to cascade that down and really set that vision and really craft that why. So it's not just, hey, go and do this. It's like, this is why we're all doing this, and making it a part of that.
Absolutely.
And I know when I first heard about like the shirts and the fund and stuff, we're at the same conference and you spoke at that panel. And what I also thought was really interesting as well, and just like kind of made so much sense to me, Heritage thinks about the typical hierarchy a little bit differently. How do you guys go about it?
Oh, sure. So this is one of the fun things I did coming on to the team several years ago now, is I took our org chart and I literally just flipped it. And so I put our two principal owners and myself at the bottom. And the home office team flows in nicely next, but then at the very top are the communities and the leadership teams. And that visual is strategic in being a constant reminder to us that, again, living better is our mission, and our role in helping residents live better is taking care of the people that take care of them. Clearing the tracks, right? When they call for assistance, when they're looking for a resource or an answer, we need to see that through completely. And it's interesting, I was just at a home office mid-year meeting this week, and I had done an associate satisfaction survey, right, checking in on the home office team. And one of the comments was, feels like sometimes you show more appreciation to the communities than to us as a home office team. And so it was a great opportunity for me to address and to take that in and learn from that. But I also used it as a reminder of our roles are very different. I'm sitting in the home office right now, and we lock this door and walk out in the evening. And the communities don't do that, right? They're 24/7 on and responsive and always worried about, well, who's passing medication tonight, or what does breakfast look like in the morning? And so I am extremely grateful for everyone in this home office, and we couldn't serve the communities without them. But I never want us to forget what goes on in those communities, day or night, holiday, COVID or not.
Absolutely. And, when you talk about the community really supporting, or the home office supporting the community, right? Like when I think of someone supporting, it's more of like holding them up rather than kind of looking down upon them. So, and it makes total sense too. And, being 24/7, these are the residents' houses. These is where they live, and things are always happening at the house for better or for worse. So, it sounds like you guys are going about it the right way. I mean, it's just so cool to hear such a fresh perspective on that. Cause I think a lot of time leaders, people get stuck in their own egos, right? And it's unfortunate because it's not helping anybody, and able to kind of dispel that is just amazing. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you.
And last question here, Amy, if you were to leave senior living leaders with 3 key takeaways to help guide them over the next year, what would you say?
Sure. So I think first, the big one is look at everything, even the really hard stuff, the problems, as an opportunity. Tuesday was my daughter's 15th birthday, and we were going to dinner, and we drove by one of the communities, and there was a fire truck, and that had me concerned. I thought, oh, we must have someone that's needing medical attention and going out by ambulance. There were 3 fire trucks. And that was awfully concerning. And so I have a car full of teenage girls. And so we hopped over to the community to check in, and we'd had a main water pipe burst. And so the community and staff had come in, it was evening time, and we're moving residents to different apartments. Huge challenge, right? Great opportunity for us to roll up our sleeves and get in the water with the staff there, right? And really demonstrate what teamwork is. It was also an opportunity for myself as a mother to show my children of acts of service, and how you can even make a challenge like that fun and enjoyable, as we were making residents laugh and remaking their beds and making sure that they had their nightstands, and did we get the Diet Coke out of the refrigerator for Mrs. Smith, and all those good things. So everything is an opportunity. It's how you look at it. That small few hours we spent with that team was just a great way to demonstrate that. So looking at things that way. Secondly, I would say your teams need from leaders to know that they're secure, they're okay, and to give them hope. So I think always focusing on security and hope. We will get through this water damage. We will get through the pandemic, and the hope of we will be better. Things will look better. We'll do more. And then lastly, be present and visible. Be in your buildings, be with your teams, jump in the pool when you need to, just be visible and be there.
No, I love it. And, with your CEO jumping in the water, having the water main break at the community, it seems like a lot of water is included
I know,
in
and we're in Nebraska. I mean, for goodness sakes.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again, Amy, for joining us. I found a lot of value in this conversation and hope it inspires some other people out there in this world to, really roll up your sleeves and jump in the water.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for all you do as well. We appreciate you.
Of course.